Um, Good day, guys. Today's study is about higher time frame play versus lower time frame play. You understanding me? Meaning probably how to align the two, how to match the two, and because like obviously whatever's happening on a higher time frame means something to whatever's happening on a lower time frame. You get on how I'm actually like laying that out. Meaning that if you're seeing something on a higher time frame, you should also like whenever you go on a smaller time frame, it should be in alignment with that, right? Because now the reason you analyze higher time frame, right, it's because of you trying to understand like the long-term play, you understand the long-term objectives, right? When you go on smaller time frame, you now see, okay, how can you trade into that lower time frame? Sorry, when you get to lower time frame, you actually like, looking, okay, how can I now equal, because things are much more clearer, right, on lower time frame, right? You're now actually looking, okay, how can I trade into that higher time frame play? Meaning like somehow you should be able to align the two. You understand? So that's today's topic, right? Meaning like higher time frame narrative. I've told you about that. So now, let's look at higher time frame play. Right now, we're looking at higher time frame play, and we could say that with higher time frame play, we have in something like this. From here to here, right? This is our higher time frame play. Be patient with me, guys. I'm coming just all right. Mm. That I do here. Okay, right. Just coming. All right. Yep. And this is a higher time frame to play. As you can see, guys, whatever's happening here, it's happening on a daily time frame, right? Whatever thing that's happening here, it's happening on a daily, and we could say that, okay, cool. Our overall break here. Okay, let me just keep this on the daily. This is a higher time frame play, right? I actually wanted to use two time frames basically, but then I saw like, okay, with what with the okay, I can still do it, right? But I saw with the higher time frame, like it's not possible based, especially with the market condition on GPSD, right? So as you can see now, you can see that, okay, cool. Our structural leg, it's here, break of structure. Now price is retracing, and hopefully you're gonna see that. Like this is our higher time frame structural idea. So we could say that, okay, cool. We had a what? We had overall break here, uh, which is like, our weekly break, you guys. Like, I think it's evident that, okay, that's the weekly, right? Or, okay, let me just focus on the daily. We had something here, right? Okay, let me just do this first. Let's look at market structure, right? You having this, right? You having this low, price retracing into this, breaking structure, right? And then we see a shift, right? And now a retracement, and hopefully we want to see this, right? As you can see, this is our high time frame play, right? Meaning the objective is to see price coming to whatever level that will hold, and then, yeah, hopefully push price to the upside, right? This is our high time frame structural play, right? So as you can see, this is where we had a what? This is where we had a what? A daily break, right? This is where we had a daily break. This is where we had a lot a shift in structure. And overall, guys, like this is what we having. Come on. Daily shift. This is where we had a daily shift. And as you can see, guys, like now our higher time frame play it's actually coming together, right? Because now we did see price printing this high, because now we had this, right? We had price printing this low, right? Breaking this. Now we here, we actually, price is still trying to find the low. You understand? The objective is to see price. You understand? Retracing, and we already seen that. You understand? Now the question is like, how deep will we retrace, right? This is when you start building what objectives that, okay, this could be this, could be that. You understand? For us to now start seeing price what pushing to the next side, because this is what's currently available. Because it's super evident that this low is protected. So basically, we see in this making this judgment based on a daily time frame, and this is what we see, right? With this. So now within our overall structural thing, we could see that okay, the last daily break is this one, in which is the minor daily minor. I think I do have daily minor. Okay. The reason I'm regarding it as a daily minor is because of like that's not the overall daily break. The overall daily break that happened was that shift in structure. This is found within the overall thing because it's like visible. I cannot really ignore it, right? Because it's visible, I cannot really ignore it. And then within that, so you could say like with this minor here, prices ranging between this low, this high, and then it's still trying to find its low here before it can actually print. Because also keeping in mind that this is our overall thing, price has a possibility of doing whatever it wants for as long as this low, it's not going, right? But then because we also have in this, we know for sure that okay, price is still trying to find what, sorry, price is still trying to find its low, right? So now, as you can see, we had that, we have in this as our overall demand range. We have in this as our overall demand range, right? Because this is when we started seeing a shift, and then this is the last demand range that was unmitigated. And then as you can see, like we pretty much closer to that, right? And for sure, and we're expecting price to come within this, right? Um, as you can see, we're having something here to here. Even though it's not as clear, but then we do like, really having something here, right? This is our higher time frame play, right? This is our higher time frame play, and it's in support with the structural idea that we saw. And we could say that on the daily already, with what we're having something like this, right? And then we now expecting price. Like this is our higher time frame play that we're having, right? And as you can see, as price retraced, created this minor thingy, right? And then now in the counter trend, right? This is our counter trend we have in this whole supply range. We have in this whole supply range, right? Like we have in this. Right, this is what we could expect because within the supply, this was the last, and then before price actually pushes, right? But then this is not important. This is when if price decides to do that. And at the same time, we do understand the fact that, okay, us trying to sell here for deeper prices, it's a counter trend. Why? Because now price is now already retraced into this, right? So you do understand the possibility of price actually still pushing higher on a higher time frame, right? Because we're already into this, right? But then what we'd like to see is price coming into this, right? Before it can actually start pushing, because this is what we're having on a higher time frame, right? Targeting these next low, sorry, next highs. But then now on a higher time frame, we're having two things. Either price comes here, pushes lower, right? Sorry about that. Pushes lower, carry. I actually didn't have to do that. So price comes here, pushes lower, right? Come on now. Let's say our price comes here, pushes lower, right? Or price pushes from where it is and then go higher. So this is as simple as it is. Like, even though I know that you mentioned a lot of things, because we could put things like premium and discount and see where price it is from here to here. As you can see, guys, on a daily time frame, we're already below 50% because this is our 50%, meaning price is already at what? At discounted prices, meaning price. Like the objective is met. Hence, I'm always saying it's not safe to buy here. It's not safe to sell here. But then because we have this as our last supply range, we might as well see that, or we might as well see price coming to deeper prices. We now have one of two things, right? We just adding more confluences, just adding more confluences to our whole thing. Right? I don't know what more can we add. As you can see, this was our first level, like our area of interest, right? Because this was the last thing that was not mitigated, if you all remember correctly. We did have something like this. Okay, let me just remove this. This is that we already saw that. Right, and then what happened? What really happened here is that we did see price coming into this boy here, try to receive that failing, right? And us seeing that failing, it only told us one thing, right? Is the fact that okay, cool. There's now since because here as you can see, we had like this sell to buy price action, price breaks, comes back into this, breaks, comes back into that, breaks. We never really came back into this, but then finally we did. Price tried reacting to that, and then we see a failure in this level, right? And us seeing a failure, it already told us that okay, you might as well trying to see deeper prices. Like that's how simple it is. And like guys, look at how I'm actually like building this higher time frame narrative, and or this higher time frame play. And you should not ever, 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 ever forget about it. Like not in any day. Don't forget what you saw in a higher time frame. Always try to match what you saw in a higher time frame with what you saw on. You understand? This is more of like the daily H4 and M15 alignment, right? Understanding your higher time frame play, like in comparison with your lower time frame, right? So that you understand, okay, cool. Because now, like I said, the objective is to see price coming here, right? Before it can actually push. If this is not happening, the objective could be seeing price doing this before you can actually say price can push down, right? And because now we already understand that with discounted prices, price still has a possibility to actually push it higher. But then as soon as we see this boy going, we might as well confirm or say that, okay, cool, we'll get those pullback before we can actually break into that. And obviously with full, what is this? With full confirmation and whatsoever. I um you let's go to H4, right? For H, as you can see, when we get to 4H, this is when we really, really, really get to refine our levels, right? So we're about that. This is when like we really get to refine our levels. And as you can see, our daily level that we're actually looking for was within this. This is that. As you can see, because this was not fully mitigated, but then this is what we have, right? Apart from that, price could come a bit deeper because we now understand that okay, cool. On a daily, we're ranging between this low and that high, right? And now you can also see that that last sell to buy price action was not mitigated because it kind of makes more sense as this is a clear demand range that when price pulled back, it failed to take those highs and now started pushing lower. So now since you understand, since this low is gone, price is gunning to actually go to deeper prices, right? And by the way, like H4, we still regard it as a higher time frame, right? We still regard it as a higher time frame. So we could say that on H4, and this is still our objective, right? But then we having something, right? What we having is this, right? What we having is this, right? Box. Why didn't I do this in the first place? Did I press the box thing? That's literally not supposed to be like this, honestly. I'll just do it like this because it's a bit, it's clearer, right? As you can see, like when you get to H4, we trade in between this high and this low overall, right? So we could like say that, okay, cool. Since this is what we're having and we do understand, okay, our objective is to see this us coming to this since this low is now gone. I could say that, okay, cool. This was our last H4 bearish break, right? Um, you could say that, right? Um, we could say that, okay, this is our last H4 break, right? And then hopefully because of our overall thing, we could expect price coming within that range and probably coming into this as this. Coming into this boy here, here, here. I'd this is what we could actually expect from price. I'd actually come within this. I'd on H4. You see on how we actually building our H4 story. Because if you could remember, like on a daily, is to either to see price coming straight here before we can actually push or coming into this. So as you can see, we have our proper what refinement that before we can actually conclude, we also see something playing out here, right? And we're not about to ignore that. As you can see here, we printed a low, price came into whatever thingy, broke the next low. So we could say that, okay, that's our H4 minor low. Because if we say this big leg, it's our H4 break, we cannot really regard this as an H4 break, but we can also like regard it as an H4 minor break, right? So now we started seeing this low being printed, that next low going, right? Meaning that we are at a new supply area, right? So now, as you can see, this thing is still gone, right? It's still like holding. So the only time we'd actually assume that price is coming to this objective is as if, let's say, price takes out this low, it's when this low goes, right? As soon as we see this low going, right, we might as well assume that, okay, cool, price is coming into this before it can actually continue dropping. As you can see, market structure on H4, we have in this and this, and probably price coming to this, and then taking out the next low, and then having that daily objective complete before you can actually see all of these lows going. Sorry, all of those highs going. I'm literally taking my time in explaining this. Right. But then for now, one of the other case scenarios that we can actually say here is that if we see this low going, right, we might as well want to catch some sellers here because why? These ranges are actually still holding. As you can see, printed this high, price breaking the next lows, coming to the supply thingy, breaking the next lows, right? And then, yeah, we would wanna still buy into that, right? Because it's still valid as it is. So this is probably one of the H4 things that we have here, because even if you check in terms of liquidity, right, um, you can see we have this low that is not yet taken out. So this is our liquidity level that is available, what we can actually also target next. Right? We also having these highs available, right? But then they're gonna be fully available as soon as we see a certain high being taken. But then the reason why they available because long run, this is the leg that we have in, right? That is the leg that we actually have in, right? So now that was our H4 play that we actually expecting for price, right? We're expecting price to do something around those lines. I so we're gonna go to M15 right now, right? We're literally just going to be going to M15, H4, understand? So for me personally, from M30, so we already on our lower time frame objective type of vibe, right? Like when it comes to that, I believe like there's no use for us to say it's still a higher time frame. It's our lower time frame play. Right. And as you can see on our lower time frame play, remember seeing price coming to this, it's our higher time, it's our higher time frame objective, right? So now we could say that okay, this was the last high that was printed before price could actually break the low, right? On M15. We could actually mention that M15. Right, this is our lower time frame play, right? So I just want to come with it, right? This is when we started seeing a shift, right? Because this is the low that actually broke the next high. So the reason I'm doing this is for me to be able to refine at this level properly, right? Um, okay, this is when we started seeing that shift, right? We do see price coming. We came with everything, right? So we now, yeah, this was the last level that we actually had. So meaning that in terms of that H4 thing, you will be looking anything that is within this, but then that's not the main focus for now. We'll come and refine that. Right? What is important for us right now is to actually see what is happening, and we could say that okay, our M15 lower time frame plays between this low and this high. Right? Let me just leave this on the hours. No, leave it on the hours. So you could say like, okay, cool. On M15, you trade in between the two. So like, you mean hour, sorry. Okay, no, it is really. Okay, so on M15, you trade in between the two, right? Yeah, we're still trading between this and that, right? And as you can see here, is it we saw this boy getting taken out, right? So this is our last M15 break overall, right? Right, this is our last overall thing, M15 down, right? This is when we had a proper break. Price printing this, taking out the lows, and we see that proper retracement because you could say we can't really say that's a proper mitigation because now if we had to look at the overall structure for M15, we have in this, so that, right? And probably, yeah, would like to see price doing that because that's the objective where on the lower time frame, because we can like clearly see that okay, that boy actually held, right? So now we want to refine this to a specific level that we reacted to. And I could say this to that. As you can see, like it was not pretty much of a clean Monday, but it's not really stopping us from knowing, okay, this is our next objective. This is not our, you get what I'm saying? So we had this last M15 thingy. So we're trading between that high and this low, and we wish to see this low going because it's not yet gone. As you can see, it's not yet gone, right? And that's the objective for M15 to see this overall low going, right? Because now within that, because within that, we did see price printing this low, this high, this low, coming to take whoever boy that was here, right? And then you see price coming to this, right? So I don't wanna like really put much attention into that. My thing is that okay, we did have this minor thingy, right? In which it was our supply area. Right? This is when you're building a lower time frame play, right? It was a supply area, our new supply area, but then not most definitely not our overall M15 break, right? So as you can see here, what happened? What happened here? We had a supply, right? Price breaking into this, pulling back, try to respect, coming once more, trying to respect, taking these lows, and then we see a push, meaning that we had a what? We had a shift. But then did this now mean that we had a shift in character. No, we didn't have a shift in character because our overall thing is here. We're still trading between this and that, right? We started having this demand area. That's a shift, right? Because we're now seeing this break. This is price trying to respect this, right? Price trying to come and respect this. We see that failing, still coming to mitigate deeper prices because this was not yet taken out, right? Because now our overall level is this range, right? This is just something that you find within, hence it was able to hold a bit, but then eventually started failing, right? And then as you can see, price hasn't really taken out the next low, right? But then that's the objective. We'd like to see price doing that, right? So meaning right now, you won't necessarily have the setup, but one thing that you're going to have is, as you can see, you're having this low. This is printed. This becomes your supply. As price is going down, you see price coming back to mitigate that supply, right? Um, you're now having something like this. You did really see price coming to that, created a new supply here, right? So based on how price has actually been following this, would like to really see price dropping from the supply, right? So my theory would be if now we see this high going, for me personally, I'll be saying this demand area is holding, right? So Bambino, like, what do you mean when you say that demand area is holding? Like in a way that I'd say if this thing goes, if that thing goes there, my next target for price would be these two highs, right? Would be these two highs and that, not the protected high. You understand? Because probably price would be trying to mitigate something deeper, right? So if we break into that and expect obviously price coming to mitigate that the new demand area, and then my new target for price would be that, right? So if this low really failed, we know for sure that we still have this objective, right? So, but then if that thing hold, we know for a fact that okay, if whatever thing holds here. Yeah, we just really want to see price printing something like this. So like this is how me building a lower time frame story. You understand compared to what we had on H4. Right. So if we see this low going, right, you'd be having something like this, and then yeah, still pushing price to now, night to what? To that daily objective that you didn't even forget about. I wish this was a market breakdown for like, because this is currently what's happening right now. But yeah, we'll just see on how it played out. But then this is our higher time frame play. So the lower time frame play versus what we had on higher time frame. And that's how you also align the trade, right? So now, yeah, I think that's it, guys. That's it. Because now if you go to your H4, right, you go to your H4, you see the H4 play, right, is this. H4 play is that. Lower time frame play is this. Like that's how simple it is. So now, let's just see what price decides to do. And then the rest is just history. Right. But then since this low is gone, like our most valid objective is to see price coming into this and then pushing higher. If this thing fails, we might as well still see something like that, right? We never ever gonna say price is gonna break into this until it breaks it. So we'll never know until it breaks it, right? Yes, okay, that's it. I think that's it.